This obviously is a Nissan Frontier. You know this truck, it's been around for, well, almost 10 years, but there is something very special and it's hidden under the hood. Let me give you a clue. Let me start it up and you listen. Yep, does that sound familiar? That's because it's a diesel, a new Cummins 2.8, well, somewhat new, that is specifically put into this mule to test how a Nissan Frontier would do with a diesel engine. And guess what? I'm gonna get to drive it, and that is coming up next on the Fast Lane Truck. Wow, Chris, it's a Frontier, but it's not. It's got a Cummins. Tell me about it.
It is a Frontier, but it's got a Cummins in it, a 2.8 liter Cummins turbo diesel with around 200 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. And it's tied to an 8-speed ZF transmission. So we think with this powertrain, we're looking at probably a 35% fuel economy improvement versus a comparable V6 gas Frontier. So this is the show truck that was revealed at the Chicago Auto Show this year. We've got a lot of positive response both from the media and consumers. They really like the concept of the truck. There you go, get a close-up of the Cummins badge.
Yeah, now, you saw Frontiers in the rest of the world with diesel engines, right? But they're not Cummins.
We do, and they're not Cummins. They're typically Alliance motors, kind of the Renault Nissan Alliance diesel powertrains. But we've got a very strong working relationship with Cummins with the new 5-liter that's coming out in Titan. It'll be revealed at Detroit next year. So I think this is just the next step in that relationship, trying to understand where else could we use diesel powertrains, particularly Cummins diesels.
Now Chevy has announced that they're, of course, putting a diesel in their new Colorado
Correct.
And GMC. Does that give you any indication as to whether you should come to market with one?
Yeah, I think it's a good first indicator. There's been a lot of strong requests.
And look, there it is.
Yeah, there's the evaluation mule.
So that's the one we're going to take out, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we are in a Frontier, but it's got a difference. Listen, guys, here we go. Oh, it shakes, it rattles, and it rolls.
It does.
Let me turn that down a little bit.
Absolutely.
And that's because what's under the hood?
A 2.8 liter Cummins diesel.
So sweet, so sweet. And is this the same one that's in the show truck that we were just looking at?
It is.
All right.
Yeah, roughly 200 horsepower, approximately 350 foot-pounds, and the same ZF transmission.
How many speeds?
8
speed. So
Yep.
8 speed.
Keeps you right in the sweet spot.
Light duty diesel Frontier. How cool is that? We good? Okay, thank you.
Take care.
All right, let's take it for a little bit of a ride. You guys have any testing on this in terms of how much it will tow? I'm sure I'm asking questions that you're not going to give me answers to. But
Right, exactly. I think we're saying comparable to V6 towing, although we haven't done a lot of tow evaluations with this at this point. This truck actually doesn't even have a tow hitch on it.
Right.
But we would expect similar performance to a V6, but just obviously better fuel economy. Diesels are much better at retaining fuel economy figures under load.
Yeah, of course. And the one feeling I get immediately, it drives like a Frontier.
It does.
Yeah, so it's a Frontier, but it's much more relaxed.
It does change the character of the truck. I think to the better. It feels like a little, I don't know, like a workhorse.
Yeah. I mean, it's just putting along here. I'm at 1,500 RPM, doing about 30 miles an hour. It just feels really relaxed and really easygoing. And let me see if I floor it. Oh, instant torque. Look at that.
Absolutely.
It gets out of its way. It scoots, man.
It does.
It scoots. That's at 300. How many horsepower? 200 horsepower.
200 horsepower, but you're really feeling that 350 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh, yeah. He spun the rear wheels, of course. Well, it's got to be fun working on this program.
Yeah, it's been fun to see it. We've worked on this over a year now before the show truck was revealed, so it's not a response to the Chevrolet Colorado. We were working on it before they revealed their truck.
Fair enough.
Very excited about the potential, and the consumer reaction's been very, very positive from day one at the reveal.
Now, of course, diesel's a little bit more expensive, but then the improved MPG is what makes the value proposition worthwhile. Talk to me about kind of this engine. Has it been specifically developed for this application, or has it been used from somewhere else?
Yeah, so the actual block is based on a global motor that Cummins builds.
Yep.
For both on-road and off-road or off-highway use.
Mm-hmm.
But the top half of the motor is completely unique, and I can't really go into the specifics of what's unique with it.
Oh, come on. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I'm covering up the lens.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep talking. I try, guys. I really try. But so it's unique to the.
Yeah. So the one in this truck and the show truck are really the only two in the world that exist in this configuration. But the engine itself, the block's been proven already, and it's actually in a pickup that's sold globally, not in the U.S.
Is this engine block heavier than the equivalent? I think what the 3.5's in here normally, right?
It's a 4-liter V6.
4-liter.
Yeah. So this it is heavier.
Yeah.
It's an iron block, so you're going to have a bit of weight. There's that balance with diesel engine. Cummins can do a number of things to reduce mass, but then that also increases the potential cost of the engine. So it's the balance of what components to use to get the economy, get the durability, the quality, but also achieve an appropriate price for the engine.
And I'm just going to ask you really basic questions because I don't know a lot about this truck. So
sure. 2.8
liter common rail turbo diesel.
Turbo diesel.
Do you expect the longevity to be a little bit higher than the 4-liter? Diesels in general tend to have a little bit more stamina when it comes to...
Absolutely. We have done no long-term durability testing at this point, but given Cummins' reputation, I think this engine would last a very long time.
Yeah, I got to think...
It's pretty quick. You're having fun over there.
I'm having fun. I got to think that you're going to see at least, I would say, and I'm pulling this number out of my hat or butt, I guess, but I would think it's at least a 30% improvement in towing capacity. Yeah, I'm trying, guys.
I know you're trying, so I won't comment more than it would be pretty comparable to a V6 today.
What's the V6 tow today? What's this?
So it just depends on configuration. It's around 6,500 pounds.
6,500, yeah. So you're going to have to come out with like 8,000 pounds. Higher payload.
It sounds like what you really want is the 5-liter V8 and the Titan.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can't talk about that either because you're introducing that next year.
Yeah, we're introducing that at Detroit.
All right, so let's sum this all up, what we know so far. Right? I'm just going to, and if you want to interrupt me summing this up, feel free. So
okay.
we know that we have a Cummins 2.8 turbo diesel common rail under the hood that's heavier than the standard engine that's in the Nissan Frontier.
Correct. Heavier than the V6 today.
Right.
Yep.
We know that it's going to get better fuel economy because it's a diesel.
Absolutely.
We know that it's going to have similar towing capacity to the 6-cylinder, which is 6,500 pounds.
Correct.
Or more.
Keep trying.
We know that it's going to cost something.
It will cost something.
And I would suspect there'll be a premium on the diesel because that's the way that Chevy's pricing it, and that seems to be obviously the way that heavy duties are priced. So
right.
It's a long way. Now we're really down the road.
Yeah, certainly.
What do you guys need to figure out before you'll actually build this and sell it?
Yeah, so there are a number of factors. Just wondering, determining what the sales mix would be, what's the volume potential, there's a lot of interest in the product. Would that translate to sales? So that's our job to figure out what would be those figures. What would the performance characteristics need to be? What would the numbers need to be to make it feasible?
I gotta think in the rest of the world, like in Europe and in South America, where you do sell a diesel version of the Frontier, that's gotta be the most popular pickup.
Yeah,
or if not the only one.
Yeah, the global Frontier, the Navara, it does very well abroad for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course, you know, there's also the issue that this platform is kind of long in the tooth. It's been around for, gosh, 10 years at least?
Yeah, it launched 2005 model year, but we've done a lot to update the truck, and sales are up as well. So last year to this year, our sales are up 22%. So I think the customers are really appreciating what we've done. So things like navigation and heated cloth seats and rear sonar, we've all added that in the last couple of years to remain competitive.
So you keep upgrading it, keep making it better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have to shoehorn the diesel in, or is it a pretty good fit?
Yeah, the Cummins crew can speak more to that, but I think everyone was surprised how well it fit, given that this was a gas V6 Frontier when it started out life.
Yeah, it's a match made in heaven. But is it made at corporate headquarters at Nissan? That's a bigger question, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just a huge fan of diesel because obviously a lot of torque, good fuel economy. It's what a truck should be.
Yeah, and I think a lot of truck customers in the U.S. particularly, they like that sound of the diesel.
Yeah.
They want, both them, their passengers, and the folks outside to know they're driving a diesel truck.
And what's amazing about this is it's very quiet. It's very loud outside, but for a mule, this is incredibly quiet in here. I mean, we're talking and you can barely hear the diesel.
Yeah, I think even at speed, there's been no NVH, noise vibration, work done to tune out some of the noise. So this is straight the package that comes from the V6, and it's very livable in here day to day, just as it is right now. And this is a very kind of early spec evaluation mule.
So is there any question I haven't asked that I should be asking?
I think you covered everything that I'm allowed to tell you.
Some things you're not. What's your personal favorite part of this truck when you get to drive it?
I just love the character change of the vehicle. So the V6 is a little bit more sporty in driving dynamics.
Revs a little bit higher, obviously.
Yeah, it revs higher, a little bit more aggressive throttle application. Got to watch out for the wild turkeys. Yeah,
whatever those are. No, those
wild
are
turkeys.
Yeah, look at that.
But it feels like a little workhorse. I feel like I can do a lot with it. It's just I love the character.
Yeah, and I think people would love the fact that they wouldn't have to stop at the pump as often, right? Because you're going to get a lot more range out of.
Yeah, even if it was the same size fuel tank, your range would be significantly higher if the 35% fuel economy improvement versus a V6.
And that it all boils down to diesel engines are expensive. It's a competitive market. Can you guys sell them at a price point that is competitive with where the market's at right now?
Right. It's got to make sense for the customer.
Yeah. Yeah, and the company.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this truck, write down the comments. I'm sure you can take a look at them and you can get a gauge of what our readers and viewers think of a Nissan Cummins light-duty pickup, turbo diesel, common rail, 4-cylinder, yada yada yada. You know the rest. So, would you buy a Nissan Frontier with a Cummins diesel, even if there were a slight price premium? You know what? I'm sure Nissan would love to know. So in the comments, let us know what you think. Is this a good idea? Should Nissan be competing with Chevy in the light-duty diesel market? That can be something that you can directly affect, perhaps. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Truck. Check out tfltruck.com for more truck news, views, and of course, real-world reviews. How cool is that? I got to drive a Nissan diesel Frontier. You Europeans, I know you're used to it, but here in America, it's cool.